All right. Check, check, check. Can you guys hear me now? I guess it takes a minute for all this to change on the YouTube side of things, so that should be there we go. There's a bit of a delay on this. It's really strange. Let me know if you can hear me talking now. All right, this delay is very strange. Okay, hey Nathaniel. Let me switch to my next scene, and I guess one thing that I've got to try to figure out is how to keep up with the chat session and OBS and Reaper while running this. But I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Reaper scene and see. Hey, Witch Ape Studio. I guess I accidentally made this public before I made it unlisted. I've got a lot to learn with regards to doing the live stream. Let me switch to this next scene and just see if this works. And gosh, I really got to figure out how long I should have to wait for scenes to switch. It looks like it's very much delayed with YouTube. There we go. So I take it that you guys can see Reaper now as well. Is that correct? All right. Adam and Witch Ape Studio, Nathaniel, who is on here with us, is the guy whose music I'm actually working on now. I invited him to take a look just to, basically I wanted to do some testing before I tried doing this as a live stream. So, wow. Good Lord, how many people managed to get in here before I made the stream unlisted? This is not actually going to be the drum editing video. I just wanted to do some testing. So let's take a quick listen to... Nathaniel, are you sure that you wanted me to do Far From Here? Because I listened to this song and Edward's performance was spot on. I don't know that there's a whole lot of editing that I need to do with this, so you may want to give me a different song to edit on the true live stream. We can go ahead and take a listen now, and you tell me what you think. So for those who don't know, Nathaniel provided me with a backing track for some of his songs for his band Requiem Repose that is to be released, I believe, towards the end of the year. Nathaniel does a great job of mixing music, but he doesn't have a place to be able to record drums on his own. I got to start looking at that camera. I probably should move the camera because I've got my microphone over here and I've got my camera over there, but this was all just a test, so I'll move all that stuff later. Anyway, we recorded drums here at my home studio for his drummer Edward, and Edward is practically a metronome. So the track that I've got in front of me here is one of their tracks called Far From Here. I'm going to mute the backing track for a minute, and let's just take a listen to these drums with the click and see if I actually have to do much with this at all. Let's see, I gotta check and see how loud that is for you guys. Probably not. So it's a little bit out of time there. What is the volume like for you guys there with the voiceover versus the stream? Let me try kicking this back up a notch here. Get that up to Unity and try this again. I don't think that metronome is coming through for you guys. I don't see it hitting anything. Play metronome through monitor effects. That's a new setting. And since I'm streaming using Restream through monitor effects, maybe this will work. Let me know if you can hear the metronome here. Still no click. Oh no! Actually, looks like the click may be going through now. I think this delay is really throwing me. I can't figure out how much of a delay. Adam, yep, you can hear the click now. Let's see. Perfect. Okay. Now that you can hear that, of course, the fun part is I have no clue how loud that is in reference to the other because, well, I'll just drop this a couple dB. I just need it for basic reference. So let's take a quick listen and see how Edward did here. Hey, Nathaniel, are you okay with me playing a little bit of the music at this point, even though this is just testing. Streaming to Facebook Live is 10-second delay. Yeah, because it's with what you're saying about the delay, it's really strange because I'm watching it in OBS, which is near real time for me, and then it's almost like a good 30 seconds. Oh, there's nothing playing right now. Let me just play a little bit and see what we get. Oh, Adam, about the side chaining, I'm doing that directly in OBS. I have got my microphone feeding the compressor on Restream from Reaper, but I'll send you some screenshots and give you a shout back on Facebook about that. I'll do, just since I've got a handful of people watching, I'll go ahead and just do like, say, let's take a look at this intro and maybe edit that, and then it's about time for dinner. I totally did not intend for this to be the actual stream. I was just looking at testing this for a few people, but apparently it defaulted to public. So I won't do much explaining at all at this time. I'm just going to run through this real quick and see what we get. And I'll be sure to update everybody when we get ready to do the real live stream. So let's take a look. I'm going to start by switching to, I said I'm not going to explain anything, but here I am going into explaining mode. I'm going to start by activating my fast edit mode here, which I'll go more into detail about that on the real stream. I've got my snapping disabled, and I guess before I get too far, I need to make sure that my drums are grouped. So I'll draw a box around all those drums up until my first split and be sure those are grouped, and make sure that my grouping is enabled and that selecting one item selects the entire group. So let's go back to this intro part that I wanted to take a look at. And typically when I edit, I like to focus on just the snare and the kick, at least to start. That way, what am I doing here? Zoom to time selection. That way I can just get the basic beat locked down, and I can always go back and edit toms and fills and things like of that nature a bit later. So I'm going to run a split here before this first kick transient and slide that into place to get that in time. We'll catch up with you later, Witch Ape. Like I said, this is not the full stream. I just kind of was testing, but since you're here, I may as well do a little bit as a teaser. So I'm just going to slip a couple things in place. We'll go back and take a listen to this intro after I do minor edits. And as you can tell, I'm not even really listening to it. I'm fairly familiar with the performance at this point. We just tracked this, I think, a week ago. And since Edward is such a tight player, there's not a lot of editing that needs to be done, so I may need to look over some of their other tracks and see if maybe I can find something that was terrible instead. Of course, there's nothing that he did that was terrible. It was all very tight and very tasteful. Edward's not really a flashy player, so to speak, but he's got an interesting style that in a roundabout way clashes with this kind of music, but at the same time fits and gives it something really, really nice. I'm not sure how much further we got to go to finish this intro, but we seem to be going pretty quick. I need to back out a little bit. Every cut that I make seems to create a new section for me to have to edit, so there's a bit of push and pull. And I seriously need to adjust my posture, otherwise my back is going to be killing me when this is over. Let me know if you're having any trouble hearing me at this point. I'm trying to sit up a bit more instead of leaning into this mic. I don't really have optimum placement of this boom arm. Let's see how far we've got. We're almost halfway through the intro. This is simultaneously slow and fast. It's kind of strange. Good deal. I should hope it sounds good. I've got a crap ton of compression on this, and makeup gain, so I mean, I'm naturally really quiet, and I wanted to make sure that I was audible despite my mumbling. Won't necessarily be legible, but it should at least be audible. I think we're getting fairly close to the end of this section. And like I said, for anybody who happens to catch this, because I guess I'll go ahead and make this public once we're done, I will go into much more detail about what I'm doing once we do the real stream. This was just intended for testing. I want to reiterate that as many times as possible. This is a test stream. I just wanted to make sure that my lights and what's wrong with Russian? Я немного говорю по-русски, or something to that effect. I hope you guys can't hear the dog snoring behind me. She's eating her own foot while snoring. We are in the home stretch. Yeah, we're almost done with this intro, so let me find where I left off. It's almost like I need 3 monitors to do this adequately. One to be able to monitor the stream on YouTube so I can see you guys with the chat session, and then another one to be able to control my scenes changing in OBS. I guess that's why people order that Stream Deck thing, to where they can change their scenes without having to look at OBS. But since this is a first for me, I'm kind of watching OBS heavily to make sure that levels and everything are okay and that stuff is doing what I think it is. I guess it's probably kind of strange that I'm not listening to the music at all while I'm doing this, but you know, I probably should. I just hope I'm not wrong. I feel like I know Edward's playing style well enough to do this in my sleep. Okay, so that's got us to the end of the intro, with the exception of butting that up to verse 1. I'll switch back to my normal mode so I don't accidentally click something wrong. I've got a toolbar button that I made up here to zoom to the time selection, which comes in quite handy. And let's take a listen. I messed that up, didn't I? Oh, I did intro P3. I have no idea what that means. Let's see what this sounds like, though. Alright, well that's sounding pretty good to me. Sounds very much in time. I'll play back just the drums again with the metronome going. Looks like, what do you call this thing? Looks like OBS may have clipped a little bit on that. I think it's probably the metronome, so for the sake of testing, let me put that a little bit lower and see if I can get that to where I can run the click track and the music without going overboard. And best of all, because of the way that Edward plays, I don't hear any glitches or clicks or pops in there, so I think that I really don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of editing in this at all to go back and fix any crossfades. sounding pretty good. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of timing issues with that performer, so. Alright, I guess that's about it for now. I thank you guys for joining me for this test. I will look at scheduling the full streaming session probably for sometime tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, thanks for checking this out for me, and we'll catch you guys later. See ya.